Hello and a very warm welcome to this fresh episode of Gen Next. I'm Sakal Bhatt. Well, according to a recent study or findings conducted by rating agency CRISIL, this at around 140 business schools are expected to close down because of 35% of their seats were lying vacant in the year 2011-12. On today's show, Bursting the B School Bubble, we're going to talk about 5 big questions. The current trend as far as these closures of top-line business schools are concerned. Are these forced closures? Why is this trend happening? Is there a possibility of reversing this trend? And is it really indicative or the consequence of the slowdown in economy? And is still the MBA much more sellable in the market when we talk about the closures of these business schools, and of course the norms and various parameters associated with the big question that today Gen Next will ask and raise is that, is it true that these MBA schools are slowly in fact losing their sheen, or they are on the way losing their sheen? We're going to talk about all that. We're very glad to have on the Gen Next panel today. Extremely delighted to have Dr. Abad Ahmed, Professor of Management. He's Professor of Management at FMSDU. In fact, 1967, he was pioneer, in fact, very much involved in designing and launching the very first full-fledged MBA course in Delhi. Thank you very much, Professor, for joining us, and extremely delighted to have with us today Professor Sulil Maheshwari from IIM Ahmedabad. And I also welcome my Gen Next audience, particularly the MBA students who have come all over the country on this particular show. If we take a quick review of the CRISIL findings, and also ASSOCHAM has also given certain observations, these MBA, the business schools are losing their shine, and it's mostly got to do with the qualitative analysis, the faculty, and the kind of students intake. Why are the seats still lying vacant? How do you really explain that?
See, there is no doubt that there has been a downturn in industry. As you know, in the Western economies there has been downturn, and emerging economies are affected by that. But the fact remains that the downturn has really not affected the top schools. There are various grades of business schools in the country. There are schools like IIMs or FMS or XLRI and SPN and other leading universities and leading. Like to explain better, they're really not management schools. I mean, they are not imparting management education, which is a professional education of the same kind of complexity and caliber as medical education.
Right. So which means you're trying to say, in fact, you've said it in a very big way, that these closures are indicative of the quality sustainability of the so-called small-time management of business schools for which AICTE had given approval once upon a time. They could not sustain that. Is it true?
Yeah, I think so, and I completely agree with Professor Abad Ahmed just said. I keep saying that today what is being closed is all shops. Institutions are continuing and they will flourish. The
Time shops, it's a positive trend in a way.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So why are these business schools on back foot? As one of our panelists, Professor Maheshwari from IIM Ahmedabad, has pointed out, it's not the closure of business schools, but the closure of shops. So which means these business schools are on back foot. Let's quickly have a look at the graphic played. In fact, the points that are indicative of why these closures have happened. If we can have the graphic on our screens right now, and I would also like my panelists to comment on these couple of facts, the glaring facts. So we start with, there are at present, sir, 4,000 business schools, more than 95% are privately run. 94 management colleges have sought consent to shut down, therefore 94 are still in pipeline. 2012, 130 business schools sought consent to shut down. Now, 130 numbers, the popularity has come down. Is it about the popularity? And if it is about the popularity and credibility of CAT, Dr. Bhatt, it's a very serious question. So if we look at the overall pictures, these 5-6 points, what do you really make out of it?
Incidentally, I may mention that there is, incidentally, even globally, even on American continent, there has been a decline in the number of people going for MBA courses. But then there is, I would like my colleague to talk about CAT because he is directly dealing with that in the IIMs. But my own assessment is that it is partly because of the fact that there has been a downturn in industry, and secondly, also there are new kinds of courses which are competing and which are offering better or equal opportunities to the students, that they are diversifying into other related professions like journalism and mass communication, for example, and so many others. So, but I think Professor Maharishi would tell us why CAT has declined.
Yes, and how is it related to these closures?
See, the CAT to me is, as far as admission to IIMs are concerned, I think the interest in IIMs is very much intact. And 2,25,000, that number we talk about, how
and the faculty. Now, Yugand, you had a question about that.
Question.
Yeah.
So basically students are concerned with placements only. Nobody is going in teaching line and getting the Gen X prepared for the B schools, and the quality of education is going down. Why there is such a trend? Everybody is concerned about placement.
Okay, one more question. Ahmad has a related question. Yes, please ask your question.
So the question is, we are talking that the quality of MBA grads is going down. So what is being done to maintain the quality or the qualities of industrial level?
Okay, Professor Maharishi, nothing got to do with the market sellability of MBA. There is a robust demand of MBA still in the market. A good MBA, from a reputed institute.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And that's where if students expect a good placement after an MBA, that's a very valid demand. Because this is a program which prepares you to be a better manager in the market. Now the question comes that why the teaching standards are in the institution, the whole academic processes. And the third one, the quality of faculty.
Okay.
And I think the question mark can be raised on all three elements.
Okay, Dr. Bhatt, quality of faculty and quality of students, quality of institutes. Also, here the question comes that is it also a part of the market correction? Because if you're talking about qualitative education, this is a corrective measure. If these small shops are getting shut, would you agree?
Certainly, it is it is a shake up in the market, because all these marginal schools are going to disappear. But then the other question, which is why is, I think one question is why good faculty is not coming to management schools. I think that's a general problem, that we are, as was pointed out by the young man, that
regarding the fact of the degradation of the system, as it was a trend. CAT was a trend in early passage of time, but now it's more of a false trend. Everyone wants to go for the fact we have 3 lakh people fighting for IIMs, but now it's more of a business. Every other locality or every other institution is opening up with their master's degree, or you call as postgraduate.
Closure of the small shops. How do you respond to Meghna?
See, this is where as a country we must see. If there is a business opportunity, there's somebody who's going to lap on it. Education, the way it opened up, especially the higher education in the country, management education, engineering, in a free market is the demand versus supply. When supply becomes more than the demand, those who do not deliver quality will have to shut down. And this trend is going to continue. We had a booming economy, demand was great, supply was restricted, people saw business opportunities, they came up. Now the demand is slowing down, the supply is huge, as those
numbers, state-wise, if you can have the graphic played on my screen, what are the states and what are the numbers as far as the closures are concerned? Which states are really leading? How many numbers are still expected? The number of business schools are expected to close down in this educational year. Let's take a look at that. Now, I'm going to quickly point out the top state. If you look at that graphic played on your screen, it's Andhra Pradesh. In 2012-13, Andhra Pradesh has seen closure. And number 3 state is Gujarat, where in 2012-13 there were 4 closures. And the number expected to close again is Desh. I like your attention on that also. In Uttar Pradesh, in 2012-13, 11 schools were closed, and 2013-14, there are 13 slated to get closed.
And parents of the students see that I am going to invest, say, 5 lakhs, 6 lakh or 10 lakhs for education in this private institution. What is the return? What kind of a job is my board or myself going to get out of that? And we find that it's a simple investment and return on investment kind of proposition, and they don't find it worthwhile anymore.
If we analyze this entire closure, it takes it to a different level altogether. Now, quality, who controls the quality? You've got a council, All India Council of Technical Education. There are a lot of reports that council has had to face, some of the members had to face graft charges, A, B, about their expansion policies, C, about the rules and regulations that are set up for any business house or anybody to set up a business school.
See, AICT is more a license granting authority, not a quality management authority, unfortunately. You know, all they do is they have a certain
basic question on the credibility of the council, which was expected to check the quality of any upcoming business school, but that's not really happening. If you're just there to check the legal point of view, the expenditure capacity, then I'm sorry, if these business schools are getting closed, it's for good, isn't it?
I think we are in a very confused state. AICT does not understand its role. They behave like a regulatory body.
But what are they regulating, sir?
But they cannot regulate, because in some sense we have moved in a free market kind of a situation, where the demand and supply and quality will take care, and students will understand what is good for them. And over and above that, we have an institution like AICT, about which a lot has been written, and I think it should have been. Why they ever ask how much is the skill of the faculty member there?
Which should be the very first question.
And those fundamentals are never, because they don't understand management education, what control they can have, what regulation they can bring about. They don't understand educational processes.
So, the bottom line here, when we talk about AICT being an apex body which grants licenses, the bottom line here is that if you're not able to regulate and control the quality of the management institutes that you know that are mushrooming, like you pointed out, like shops, then it's about the credibility of the council itself. Because if today's student is intelligent enough to take an admission in a good or a bad school, because it's the faculty, if I'm not wrong, it's the faculty which decides for you where you have to go, not only the placement promise.
I'm a BBA graduate, and it was really my dream to study at IIMs. But I had to compete with students from IITs, and just because they were good in mathematics, my future was almost jeopardized permanently. Why is it that people from every background are kept eligible for MBA? Why is there no saturation in MBA?
Actually, MBA is a multidisciplinary program by design, and it requires, therefore, it is unlike the previous commerce education model where you could do high school, intermediate, commerce, BCom, MCom. You know, it is engineering or say humanities and social sciences, all of them have to compete so that there is a minimum level of competence in the basic multidisciplinary requirements of the course.
Okay, Professor Maheshwari, now let's go a little further and talk about the other factors that may have contributed to this forced closure. They also say, some experts say that economic slowdown is also one of the reasons. Job market is shrinking. That is also, I can see some of the students nodding. And if these two reasons are to be believed, then what can be done? What could be a corrective measure, right? Yes.
I don't think any correction is needed. Market will take care. See, this shutdown of these these shops was bound to happen. Slowdown on economy has made it little faster and very timely.
They will check the regulatory norms if at all they want to.
I just want to make a point here. You see, sometimes the students also have to examine what is it that they are really looking for. Are they really looking for an MBA degree and PGDM certificate, or are they wanting to develop those qualities, skills and knowledge that is needed to become a business leader or a professional manager? You see, let us face it, MBA gives such seriously pursuing the professional course and career.
Okay, yes, what's your point?
I just need to tell regarding the perspective of the family and the student. It is like they are just pursuing a graduate course in any field, humanities or in commerce, and they end up doing MBA because of that title tag. That I am an MBA, I am pursuing an MBA course from this, even if the institution is not of that kind, that the person will end up getting good job or good placement, but they have that tag that I am.
2 points here, Professor Maheshwari. IIM and the courses at IIM, nobody can touch that. I mean, in terms of the credibility and job market availability, that's a separate genre altogether, a game altogether. Now, what she's raised is fad about, so that's a bigger concern, and it still was and it still remains.
Actually, 2 dimensions. One is the respect that an MBA was getting earlier has reduced significantly of late in the industry. Today, when I go and say that I am a BA from Delhi University, probably I get more respect than when I say I'm an MBA from XYZ business school. Issue number one. And I think the students must realize that MBA is no more
responsibility to fill that gap.
Okay, and also let me quickly add, if you could have a bit of a clarity on the course structure and the level of degree provided by IIM and other schools, other business schools, in terms of certificate courses, diploma as well as degree.
See, to large extent I would say this is the failure of IIM.
You agree?
Yes, I completely agree with that, because IIM as an institution, premier institution of the country, had the responsibility not only impart education to its students, but also create an environment in the country where lots of good business schools could come up. I think as an institution we have failed in that, and I think all IIMs will must agree to this. We had a larger social responsibility towards improving the education standard in the country. Number one. Number two, I think the students and the parents, they simply rushed behind the institution, the teachers.
Is AICTE authorized to do a qualitative check on these schools?
Authorized or not, but who can stop them if they want to do that? They have accreditation process.
Absolutely.
Now in their accreditation
So
process of ABC,
it's part of their do's and don'ts.
Absolutely.
That's why the council was created in the
Absolutely.
first place by HRD Ministry, sir.
Actually, there has been again a major flaw in conceiving of and creating the AICTE. You see, technical education and management education are totally different. In fact, management education is a broader education and technical education is a specialized, not the other way around. So by putting management education in this umbrella, I think a distortion has been created, and that is what has led to all this kind of
All right, now let's take a quick look at these numbers as far as the growth of the mushrooming growth of B schools, the business schools are concerned. We can have a plate on our screen which talks about 2005 to 6 until current date. In fact, in 2005 and 6, there were 1,888 business schools. Then 6 and 7 saw 2,031 business schools. 2007 to 8, 2062, there was just some 30-40 schools added on to that number. 2008, 2009 saw 2,734 business schools. 2009 and 10, there was a huge rise after 2011. There's been a huge rise. In fact, the numbers have been swelling over a period of time, specifically post 2008.
yes.
But then we have seen in the last 1 year we have seen the forced closures.
Yes, I had the opportunity to earn money, and as a businessman, I leverage on that opportunity. Simple. And why should I not do that if I'm in business? And most of these people are business people. Please understand, are they serious about academics? The way they pay to their teachers for a peanuts, why should a good teacher come and teach there?
So it's at the end of the day, it's you're selling.
That's right, a certificate. Actually, this is very unfortunate countries, and only schools which meet the accreditation criteria should be given the due recognition and approval by regulatory authorities. So my contention is that we have a situation of over control and lesser regulation in the management education and professional education generally, and that needs to be changed.
All right, sir, what's your take?
I would request the students and teachers, for God's sake, please do your research. Please understand what kind of college you're going, because it's not just the money, it's your career. And what about those who took certificates from those business schools? What about their career? And they're going to suffer because of it. So my request to all parents and students is, please, please, for God's sake, do your homework before you take an admission, because you are going to get branded with that school.
So in one line, sir, bursting the B school bubble is equivalent to closure of these small-time shops, is indicative of the fact that when we talk about these numbers increasing in terms of B schools closing, that's what CRISIL has pointed out, that's what SHM's study and observation has been all about. The panelists and the students, the MBA students present on the GenNext, are saying that these closures are for good, because they are certainly indicative of the quality, sustainability of a good MBA course at the end of the day, which would fetch you a decent job, your dream job, right? And with that, I thank my panelist on the show, Dr. Abad Ahmed. In fact, Mr. Ahmed has been he is the visiting professor at Indiana University, United States of America. It was such a pleasure to have with you with us on the show. And thank you again, Professor Sunil Maheshwari from IIM Ahmedabad. It was a pleasure. And with that, I wrap up the show. There's no time left for anything else but to say goodbye. But in case you want to say anything, you're welcome to write to us with your query suggestions. You can see the email ID on your screens. I'll take your leave from my entire team of Gen Next. Thank you so much for tuning in. Namaskar.